You've just woken up. It's morning. You check your cell phone. The computer is fully charged. You turn on the lights in the bathroom and have a hot shower. The milk for your cereal is cold. Without thinking about it, almost everything you do is dependent on modern sources of energy. We take it for granted. It's everywhere. Most people in developing countries aspire to a richer, better life. These people know how we in the West live, and they refuse to be left behind. Energy is coming to the developing world. When I look around me in this Medina, this market in Marrakesh, Morocco, I can see modern sources of energy being used in almost every form. Bottled gas fires the stoves for the street vendor, and electrical energy powers the lights. It powers the scales and the all-important credit card readers. It drives small manufacturing tools and automated weaving machines. TVs and computers abound. Many environmentalists fear that this growing consumption of energy will spiral upward and the Earth's ecosystems will suffer as a result. And yet, can we really object to the developing world's rise out of poverty and its move towards a better standard of living? Stretching 2,400 kilometers across Algeria, Tunisia and Morocco, the Atlas Mountains separate the Atlantic from the dry, harsh climate of the Sahara. Here, small villages are largely inhabited by Berbers, present-day descendants of the pre-Arab inhabitants of North Africa. This is the tiny village of Issidan Izdar. It lies high in the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, and people live here today much like they did hundreds of years ago. Hama 8 Marim is 66 years old. Hama tends the goats and sheep that feed on grains, seeds and dry grasses. 6 of his children live at home with Hama and his wife, Rikia. The family pulls together. Everybody contributes to the work that has to be done. Every day, Rikia pounds and grinds the pits of dry dates so that the farm animals can easily digest them. Cousins Sarah and Fadima weave traditional wool rugs to be sold in the local market. These generate cash to buy food and supplies for the family. The Berbers are well known for their colorful handmade carpets. Each day, cousin Muhammad rides to the well to fill jugs of water for drinking, cooking and washing. The eldest sister, Safia, walks miles through the desert every day to collect firewood for cooking. There are no trees in this part of the Sahara, only dry bushes and brush. It is essential fuel for the family, although collecting it is contributing to the devegetation and expansion of the desert. The women of the family prepare the meals, grinding wheat and sifting flour for bread. A stone room keeps their food cool during the hot days, and a weekly trip to the market supplies the family with fresh vegetables. Bread is a staple of the Berber diet. It's cooked twice each day in a cast iron pan over an open flame by Aunt Fatima. 10-year-old Keltouma, Hama and Rikia's daughter, attends school with her cousin, Hassan. It is a short walk from the village to the one-room schoolhouse. The children in this classroom range in age from 6 to 13 years old. There are 11 boys and 4 girls. If they're lucky, some of them might go on to high school or even to college. Late in the day, school is over and the children walk together back up the hill to their houses. The 8 Marim family lives a good life, significantly better than much of the world's population. They have food, clothing, shelter, and a means of earning money. But when the sun sets and the animals are safely tucked away in the courtyard, there is something no one in their village has: electricity. You might think these people's lives are simple and pure, close to nature, far from the hustle and bustle and the pressure and the stress of the modern world. These people wouldn't want electricity. You would be wrong.
تغير المعيشة بزاف. الضوء المعيشة بلا الضوء راه ما كاينش ولا نتفرج شي تلفازة ولا نتفرج شي الفيديو ولا نتفرج كله.
The impact of not having energy relates to medication, to medicine, storage of medicine, related to water, purification. It also relates to agriculture. If you have energy, you can pump water for drip irrigation and so forth.
Living without electricity makes everything more difficult. You don't have any powered water wells, and of course you can't refrigerate the food. And any kind of farming or manufacturing activity must be done with manual or animal labor.
It diminishes their quality of life because so much of your time, your daily routine, is occupied by providing this energy for yourself that it leaves you very little time to do anything else that's productive. These countries remain poorer, and when they remain poorer, they then have less money to invest in other environmentally conscious activity.
But life goes on. They still have to have light at night, and they still need to cook their meals. The family owns 2 gas-fired lamps. One in the main room where the family sleeps. The other is in the cooking area, where it casts a light on one of the gravest problems of living without modern sources of energy. Almost half of the world's population cook food on open fires indoors, usually with wood or animal dung, because they don't have electricity or gas. This results in respiratory illnesses, and it is a major global problem. The World Health Organization estimates that in Africa, indoor smoke from solid fuels are responsible for around 500,000 deaths every year. Globally, almost 2 million die, and the horribly sad truth is that half of those who die are children.
الضوء تيداس المسائل اللي قامني الضوء يوري الضوء حلا الضوء تتعلم كان الشرجان تتسكرت فلاطه الضوء يدخل له المنطقه انت يمين شي بخير ولا خير تتسبغي تماس البنبه تتسكرت الدوش تتسكرت تواليت كلشي مزيان ويوليني يوري الضوء ما تيسكرت الشمعت.
Just a few kilometers away from Issidan Izdar is the larger village of Tamayousst. Here, things are changing. Tamayousst was wired to the national grid 8 years ago, and it's made a huge change in their lives. Abdur Hamen Eit Brahim is the village imam in Tamayousst.
الحمد لله فحرا شعل الضوء إلا يلا فرح فرضنا كنت تصور الفرح زعما فرح بنادم غير يشعل البولا يفرح يصرخ التلفزيون الوقت النيرة يفرح كذلك الديوي الثلاجة يفرح يلا فرح يمكن أس اللي أطلقني الضوء إلا الفرح المليح يلا فرح زعما فرح مزيان.
Here in Tamayousst, there are electric lights so that families can read or socialize after dark. They can watch television and see news from Morocco and the rest of the world. People have cell phones and communicate with others outside the village. Some own computers that bring the modern world into their lives. There's a light in the bathroom and the shower, something that's not appreciated until it's not there. The food in this house is fresh and uncontaminated because of this refrigerator. And most importantly, there's a more modern kitchen with running water for cooking and cleaning. And because they cook meals on a gas stove, this family is not burning wood indoors, exposing themselves to dangerous smoke. This increase in power use is very good news. It has contributed to an unprecedented reduction in poverty and mortality in poor countries.
I think there are people who actually feel that maybe expansion of technology into remote areas will have a much more impact on the environment itself, and that we shouldn't do it. I think these people are perhaps not thinking very seriously about the well-being of those communities. And I think those communities, they have aspirations like anybody else. They wanted to develop and they wanted to progress.
A World Bank study showed that when villages in India were electrified, the lives of 8 children per 1,000 born were saved. In other words, out of a population of 1 million children, the deaths of 8,000 were prevented. But unfortunately, as we all know well, the result is an increase in CO2 emissions. It is problematic, but we have to ask ourselves, don't they deserve the same kind of life-changing benefits that power has brought the West? In the end, people in developing countries are going to seek lives with our levels of abundant energy. It's happening. We can't go back. There is too much at stake for too many people. We're going to need more energy in the world, not less. So we have to develop new, better and cleaner sources of energy. Because people everywhere want to wake up in the morning and be able to charge their cell phones, have light in the bathroom and hot water in the shower.